Welcome back, Super Friends and Super Family. My name is Nick, and today I'm reacting to Angel Season 2, Episode 7. And the last episode I just watched was Buffy in the Slay Alive watch order. And that was Buffy Season 7. I mean, not Season 7, Season 5, Episode 7. The Spike episode. The super amazing episode. And that truly was an incredible episode. I mean, I'm definitely going to have to rewatch that one again. One of my favorites already, possibly top. I mean, there's so much to like about that episode. You know, we had so many great appearances from the different villain characters. I thought Spike's actual backstory was fascinating. Seeing him kill the two Slayers, the dynamic and kind of the changes and complexity we saw between Buffy and Spike, and even little things like the moment with Riley was badass. The moments with Joyce, with Dawn were interesting, right? Just a great, perfectly kind of constructed episode. So I'm kind of, I mean, we're going back to Angel here, obviously. I'm not going to lie, I'm excited to see more of Spike and what the heck is going on in the Buffy side, you know, in Sunnydale. But we also have a lot of interesting things going on, you know, don't get me wrong, going on in Angel here, right? And the main one, I mean, I feel like we kind of took a little break from the Darla storyline. I'm hoping we go back to the main one, although who knows, we could be going back to another side storyline here. But I mean, the episode 5 of Angel was really, really good and really interesting. Set up an interesting dynamic that we might see moving forward now between Darla and Angel. So I'm excited to see what happens. As always, the full unedited reaction is up on Patreon if you want to support the channel and watch all the episodes of Angel, future episodes of Angel and Buffy. That's where you can find all of that. Link to that is in the description down below. For now, let's get into today's reaction. Angel, Season 2, Episode 7.
We were together 150 years. She has the sight.
Is Darla gonna be in this episode? I mean, not Darla, Drusilla and Darla together.
Memories are going to start eating away at you. Believe me, I know.
The amount of sympathy you can feel for a lot of the villains in the Buffyverse is pretty impressive. What are you journaling, Angel? You're not, oh my gosh, wow. This is not inspired by the nightmares either.
What is it, Wesley?
It?
Oh, dang.
Oh, it?
His spider sense.
Popping around, see if everything's all right.
Fine.
Oh, good.
If only you knew what he was drawing.
Good night.
Good night.
Angel, you shouldn't be isolating yourself like this.
Just to say nothing you'd like to perhaps share?
I'm surprised he didn't hide that. Holy, we're going full Jack Nicholson Shining mode for Angel. How cool do you think you are, bro?
Which one were you thinking of?
I shouldn't have sent you to him. Should have waited.
I think it was just the right time.
Never talk about yourself, Lynn. Not a girlfriend, boyfriend, someone special.
We don't know much about his personal life.
For 150 years, think you know him. Still doesn't work out. And just,
People change.
He was a different person then.
and so was I.
True. There's no chance Darla could turn good, could she?
Enemies.
Oh no, much worse.
What's worse than that?
It's all me.
What a good line. What an opening to this episode. Man, I hope we focus in on Darla and Angel this whole episode. That would be perfect. I mean, both aspects could be fascinating. Like, if Darla could have a redemption like Faith, or if Angel could turn to the dark side. And it would be so fascinating if Angel actually turned to the dark, not Angelus taking over, right? More flashbacks?
Someone closed the shutters.
Oh, is this gonna be Darla when she gets turned?
You'll not see it again.
Ominous words.
I know what you are.
I'm a whore.
Yes, that too.
What priest wears a creepy robe like that?
Your life may have been the better for it.
This priest is a vampire.
Me a visit before today, Father. Your life may have been more interesting because of it. God never did anything for me.
Leave us.
This priest is a vampire. That's why he's all covered up, come on.
Either way, I die.
You will not die.
It's the master? No one at all saw how he looked?
You're dead?
No,
What then?
Much worse.
I'm your savior. God never did anything for you,
But I will.
but I will.
Yeah. I don't think we did. They didn't say that in season 1, did they? About how Darla got turned?
This would be the same woman you didn't notice was in your bedroom every night for like 3 weeks straight.
Yes.
Different in the sitting right on top of you sense. Yeah.
Cordelia has a point.
Yes.
Now she's out there among 6 million other people.
She could be sitting on top of anybody.
Come on, guys.
But he's the bait.
We investigate things. That's what we're good at.
That's what we suck at.
You're not too bad.
We have darlastashchair.com. We're pretty much out of luck.
It's not gonna be easy.
Maybe Cordy can have a vision, although I doubt the...
We cruise around with the top down, and you take big whiffs.
In LA, that might be dangerous.
She was raised from the very depth held by an ancient and dangerous ritual.
And they still gotta put her up, don't they? That's an expense.
True. Follow the money.
Lawyers haven't figured out a way to write that off.
Yeah, come on.
She'd want something with a view.
You would know.
Jealous.
I can't believe we get the bastard, dude.
Have you left anyone alive there to tell the tale?
You had a nice trip. I'm so glad.
He's like a proud father.
Yorkshire man. Tough as leather.
The father-in-law approves.
We are the select, the elite.
And you live in the sewers, do you?
Don't insult him.
Why'd you want to do that? I mean, have you been above lately? Quite nice.
What?
Isn't that right, love?
He's young.
And this one.
He's brazen.
Don't you, my lamb?
We fed very recently. The blood is still hot in his veins.
We do not live amongst the human pest.
I'll be honest, you really couldn't with that face. No, could you?
I'm jealous.
He's not afraid of anyone.
The master has grown past the curse of human features.
I'm not gonna get a bat nose like that, huh?
You now demonstrate.
Still laughing.
This is no place for you.
Show the proper rest.
The master's angry, but I think he's gonna respect him.
Out in the world, eating as we like, taking what we need.
It sounds like a better life to me than the sewer.
Tell the truth. Whose face do you want to look at for eternity? Or mine?
That's like cake or death.
I made her.
True, and he also saved her. But she's leaving the nest.
Leaving with the stallion, aren't you?
Of course.
No, let them go. It won't last.
Oh, really?
Give it a century.
Darla, Anglo-Saxon, didn't come into common usage until more than 100 years. He must have given it to her.
Oh, not even her original name. What's her human name?
Angel, you must admit your record when it comes to Darla has been spotty at best.
True.
I killed her, Wesley. And she came back.
But Buffy was there that time.
Why like this? Why human?
Perhaps human was the only way Wolfram and Hart could bring her back. You have all your attention focused on finding this one woman.
Take me out of the game?
Yeah, what was their game plan?
It is possible, and if that's the case,
I mean, they definitely have Angel seriously rattled.
Vending machine if you want. It's not exactly gourmet cuisine, but
Palpatine, Lord Sidious himself.
we're right outside.
Does he like her? Or is he just looking after her as a valuable asset? I feel like he kind of likes her.
But she's made contact. It's not prudent to have her on the premises.
I know.
You're gonna boot her out?
She seems to be displaying a post-traumatic...
She's cracking up. Oh, she's way ahead of schedule.
What?
What?
We'll have to accelerate matters.
What matter?
Letter openers, staple gun, even ballpoint pen. You may want to remove those sorts of items from your office.
Probably a decent precaution. The big picture plan.
Still, he won't now age.
No, but he'll rot. Seems a pity.
When I bit into him,
Yes!
I could hear the ocean.
Of course
Of course you could.
Jigs! Jigs! Jigs!
You've got us.
Not in the least. You won't even hurt me just a little bit.
Oh.
His head's too full of you, Grandmother.
Stop calling me that.
Bravest knight in all the land, and make him mine forever with a kiss.
You could. The spike?
What? Where you going?
Oh,
Oi.
Spike before his glow up.
Idiot that comes along.
Don't insult a poet.
Think so fine to go to...
Darla saw Spike's potential. She sees things that others don't. She's like Phoebe from Friends, just, you know, sadistic and psychopathic.
You don't have a sister.
My older, way older, like 400 years older. I've been desperately trying to find her because Mom and Dad are in the coma. Sue, the property manager, was very helpful.
That's not bad.
we can all decide how to proceed as a team.
Good idea, since it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and that address is in Sun Valley.
I mean, I think Wesley is smart. Angel is not the best to handle this.
Darla,
Say that again?
I said your name.
Did that bring up a memory?
Sounds so odd, doesn't it?
I don't know what you mean.
It wasn't my name when I was human.
She's remembering.
What was your name?
I don't remember.
Dang.
I'm not her, whoever she was.
It's true.
And you brought me back. Did you bring back Lindsey? What am I?
Human.
Did you bring back that girl whose name I can't remember? Or did you bring back something else? The other thing?
That's a good point.
Neither. You're just you.
That's a non-answer.
Kiss me. You've been dying for it, haven't you?
Okay, so he does like her.
You think I ever hesitated when I wanted something?
No.
Life's too short. Leave me, I know. 400 years and still too short.
What a line.
Do you like it?
It's not me you want to screw.
Huh?
What?
It's him. You all think you can use me to get to Angel.
He also wants you, though. True.
Now do you care?
Huh.
About who I am?
I understand what you're going through.
No, you don't.
Nobody understands. Nobody can understand.
Only Angel could come close.
Being eaten away by this thing inside of it. Cancer.
Really?
This soul.
Oh, okay. I wonder why having a soul is so...
What you've done to him will force him to suffer for the rest of eternity.
That's what they wanted.
Go on. Kill things.
She'll be very cross if he finds we had a lovely mess.
Oh, she's crying. Did they actually miss him?
Now do as you're told.
Okay.
I never thought about what happened to these dudes after they did the curse.
Will die tonight without my protection. But if you do as I say, your family can live.
All those screams in the background.
What?
He's a new vampire. Oh, dang.
Pretty music. Very cry.
That is so creepy.
Show none.
Dang, wow. Wow.
She smashed all the mirrors. The weight of her soul, she's feeling it.
We don't know that for certain.
It makes sense. She was a vampire, now she has a...
Yeah, Angel's been through it before.
Angel.
Cordy, just take a message.
No, it's important. It's important.
Mustn't rule it out.
Angel.
Cordy, please, I'm talking.
It's important.
Hi, Darla. He can't talk right now.
My darling boy.
Where are you?
Better question. Where was I?
What do you mean?
Could it be there's no hell?
To hell, a few of them. I've been to one.
Manny.
Do you remember that? I believed it then. I still do.
I'll do whatever I can.
He can't help himself. He cares so much about her.
And now I'm sick with it.
I know.
Of course, he's there.
What are you doing?
Oh, I thought this was a setup. It's not.
Just put down the phone. Darla.
Is it a setup?
It's okay. All right, just put it down.
They better not hurt her.
I have to go to him, Lindsey.
Don't say that.
He's the only one. He can help me.
Is this a trap? Is this a trap?
No, you can't. You don't have it in you. I'm sorry.
Oops, you're no angel.
Darla.
Is she gonna try to escape? Seriously?
Darla.
What the? I did not expect this at all. Not your finest moment.
You not only allowed her to escape, facilitated it.
Oops. There goes your bonus. Your Christmas bonus. Bye-bye.
What about the guard?
Family's been notified. Police have a suspect in custody. It's handled.
The poor person in custody, whoever that is.
You don't have to find her. We picked her up 2 blocks from here.
What?
You're thinking about handing this
This
project.
situation has gone too far out of control. I'm terminating the project.
I mean, you're lucky you didn't get fired.
Go home, Lindsey. Get some rest.
There's no way Lindsey would help Angel to save Darla, would he? I mean, he's flip-flopped sides before.
You know better than anyone what she was.
What we were. And I also know what she was going through. And unlike me, maybe she won't have to go through it alone.
Angel loves a damsel in distress, and he loves a redemption arc.
You yourself wandered for 100 years without ever seeking redemption.
That's right. I sought her.
Really? Dang, way to tie it in with the Spike episode. Holy. And she didn't kill him?
You're so warm.
You found me.
You can never resist a religious war.
Maybe starting a new one. That's not all. You reek of vermin. Is that what you've been living off?
Yep.
Go ahead, Darla. Make sure you cut clean to the bone. Put the blade in the wall.
He wants to die.
What do you want?
Second chance.
What?
I want things to be like they were.
No way.
I miss the view.
It's impossible.
It's not impossible.
I can't believe Angel did this.
We can have the whirlwind back.
We can do this.
Yes, we can.
No way, I can't believe this happened. Oh my gosh, I thought we knew all about Angel. He's all these skeletons in his closet, these things we had no idea about. I mean, what is going to happen?
Where? Nope. You get just enough breath to tell me where she is.
How's the helpless?
I was trying to call you. Stop it.
Oh, he was trying to switch sides.
Where? In an abandoned bank on Figaro and 9th. Wolferman.
Lando knows how Lindsey feels.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not exactly in the loop on this.
I got taken off the project.
Hell, I just might be coming back for you anyway.
That's the no-nonsense Angel we know and love.
Darla!
What happened? She ran away? She took off? Can they tell he's a vampire? Or are they just scared he's gonna attack them? It's like he can't resist his urge to be good in a way.
What's over here?
Nothing. Let's find something water.
She knows he's lying, doesn't she?
We'll drain the piety right out of them.
Oh, I guess not.
When and if this new boat shows up, I'll give you first crack at it.
What a connection between the two shows here.
Let's get out of here. This rebellion's starting to bore me.
I can't believe I would have never guessed Angel had his soul at this point when we saw this from Spike's point of view. Did Spike not have any idea about the curse though? You know what I mean? I mean, for Angel to do this with his soul, wow. This whole time I thought Angelus is evil, Angel's 100% good, but it's not so clean. I mean, they still look cool, undeniably. It's almost like this scene was so cool they had to use it in at least 2 episodes.
Sorry, lady.
They're really just gonna kill her? Or are they just pointing the gun at her to be nasty?
Where have you been? Answer me.
I was out eating the boar.
On vermin?
No.
Liar.
Don't lie to me.
It's like he's getting in trouble in a relationship for sneaking out to eat salads or something.
Did you think I wouldn't notice? Only evildoers, that's all you hunt now.
A little Dexter in him.
Now's your chance.
Oh my gosh, there's no way.
I won't be made a fool, Angelus. Not by you, not by anyone.
This is the perfect test.
Was out killing a slayer. You were saving missionaries from me.
So she did know.
No more words.
Yeah, prove it. Oh, there's no way Angel did this, right? There's no way.
Act.
No way. Oh dang, she get knocked out?
Darla?
How badly is she hit? He probably got a lot of money.
McDonald's man there?
I mean, we remember him. We don't need that.
Fine.
Actually, I probably do. You're on his bad side right now.
You played her.
We had to make, because she had to believe it.
You think that now that you've driven her back to him, that she's gonna give him that perfect moment of happiness? She's gonna come on our side?
Oh.
Or take advantage of her, not in this state, not now.
We know there's no prospect for physical intimacy here, so you needn't torture yourself.
So it was all a setup.
Sorry, I know you're concussion gal and all, but around here it's Angel.
Not to her.
You mind? Just give us a minute.
Why would they want Angel to give her soul back, and what does that mean? She has her soul now.
Thought I was dead.
You're not dead.
I feel about that.
I know what you...
Ambivalent. You absolutely do, right?
To have someone who understands something you never had, is it?
It wasn't your fault.
No.
Dang, she feels bad.
It'll be okay.
I knew you'd help me. Now if I could only get to you.
You've gotten to him, I think.
Now I find I need you, because I've always needed you.
Is she using him?
You'll make the pain stop, won't you?
Takes time.
Takes moments.
Does she want him to turn her into a vampire?
No.
Why would he, though? There's no way.
Turn me back. I can't bear this pounding in my chest for another instant.
It's a gift.
A painful gift.
You're human again, Darla. You know what that means?
You have a second chance.
It means pain, suffering,
I mean, that as well.
and death.
That's true.
I released you from this world once. I gave you eternal life. Now it's time for you to return the favor.
Oh, damn, I have chills. He's not going to. Is he?
Is that what you think?
I mean,
Fine, and if it's such a punishment, take out your revenge. Pay me back.
he doesn't want that.
Please.
I can't.
Yeah, no way. He cares about her, but he's not gonna do that to someone.
What do you mean you can't? You won't.
Oh, what a transition. That's perfect.
Darla, wait.
No. Don't look for me again.
Really? Don't let her leave? Wow. What an episode. Okay, so that is Angel, Season 2, Episode 7. Is 7 the perfect number or something? Is there like a mystical rule in the Buffyverse somehow that 7 is magic? Because this was an unbelievable episode. I mean, I was so, preoccupied thinking about how good the last episode of Buffy was, getting ready to film this, just remembering that. But holy, this was incredible. This might be the best episode of Angel so far. And that I was literally just saying that about the last episode of Buffy, which, I mean, lucky number 7. Wow. I mean, where do I begin? I mean, we did exactly what has been, to me, playing into the strengths of Angel is focusing on this Darla storyline, because Darla is so fascinating as a character. And Julie Benz, that's the name of the actress, right, who plays her. She's always been good. She had a presence back in season 1 of Buffy, but I feel like the more I've seen her, the more I am so impressed by her acting talent. I mean, after this episode, which I think is probably her best acting that we've seen so far, to me, she might be one of the best actors in the whole Buffyverse. Not gonna lie. I mean, she's up there. I've been really, really impressed. I mean, she is carrying a lot of complex emotion and a lot of very heavy scenes that another actor would not be able to deliver the same power of those moments in any way close. And on top of that, like, a weaker actor would make those moments not land, because they're complex and they're heavy. They're not making jokes here, but she just absolutely knocks it out of the park with a killer performance. But similar to the last episode of Buffy, we have, we're flashing back and forth, and just like the last episode of Buffy, it's not like the flashbacks are interesting, but the present day is not quite as interesting. Like, both are very, very engaging. I mean, the flashbacks might be slightly more engaging just because we got to see stuff like Drusilla and Spike again. And it was really cool how we got to see that same event from the last episode of Buffy, but with new context. I mean, to me, that is just a game changer, right? I'm all over the place once again, but it's a game changer to me that Angel went back to Darla when he was Angel. Like, I have been the biggest defender of Angel since, I don't think my opinion has really changed much. I think pretty much once I got the gist of Angel and Angela's soul, no soul, I've always had a pretty black and white opinion. I know not everyone agrees, but to me, I'm like, Angel is a good character, and he is not to be blamed for the faults of Angela's, because it's essentially like, being forced to be drunk if getting drunk made you sadistic and bloodthirsty. You know what I mean? Like, he had no free will to turn into a vampire, and when you have no soul, everyone is evil, But this is so different, right? Because now we see, we saw in the flashback, I'm forgetting what episode of Angel it was, but when Angel was first turned and how Darla rejected him, and also that scene where he goes into an alley and then first realizes he can't be eating humans, right? Where it's like, we see there's some conflict. It's not like it's easy. And I've always realized there still is that urge underneath Angel to, not only drink human blood, but also to probably fulfill and relish in those sadistic pleasures that he lived in for so many years. But the fact that after wandering around and being kind of cast out, first of all, I have to mention the scene where Darla and Drusilla and Spike kind of crashed the people who cursed Angel and gave him his soul back. I didn't even think about that, but it makes so much sense, right? Especially when you realize how intense the love because it's all twisted, but I'm just gonna say love because it is intense and it's not just like this. What makes it fascinating is similar to real life, right? There's evil people in the real world, right? They're not vampires, but it's not like evil people who exist now in the world don't love people. You know what I mean? You can have a horrible person, and sure, I'm sure there's some sociopaths or psychopaths who don't form attachments to anyone, but I think most people can be horrible human beings. Thoroughly evil, as close to demonic as you can come, but they still probably care about their kid or their wife or their girlfriend or somebody in a deep, serious way. And so what's fascinating, kind of tying it back into the show, is by showing Darla go to the people who stole her lover, her partner in life, in crime and everything, right? To get revenge, furious that she had been robbed of this great life partner and soulmate. It adds, I don't even know what it adds. It just adds a richness to the villains. It shows that they do have their own feelings, their own relationships, their own cares, and particularly obviously with Darla, and she was the one who was so close to Angelus, and of course she's the focus here of this episode. I'm not gonna lie, that's an absolute exactly what I would do. If I was a vampire and I had been in this amazing relationship with someone who was compatible with me and we were just loving life as these evil creatures, and then someone stole that from me, you better believe I'd be on this vengeance quest. You know what I mean? With those feelings that run so deep. And then what was even possibly a more fascinating scene was the fact, first of all, that Angel like so missed Darla. And not only that, but like wanted Darla to turn him back. Like someone, you know, you can look at a lot of, you know, metaphors or analogies with what being a vampire could be. But if you look at it from the angle of like analogy or a metaphor for addiction to like a serious drug, you could look at it like Angel escaped. You know, he got sober and was struggling day by day trying to stay sober, but then he relapsed majorly. I mean, he came back to be with Darla again. And it was so almost touching to me, you know, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I kind of like Darla, okay? Like, I know I love the villains, but I mean, this is a huge plus points for me for like rooting for her character, is the fact that when Angel came back, you know, now he has a soul. So Darla is disgusted by him. You know, I felt bad for Angel when Darla kicked him out, you know, when he first had a soul, and like the scent of it was just repulsive. But we saw that scene already, right? So we know how just it is to another vampire, to Darla, right? But the fact that Darla took Angel back with a soul and wanted to fight for their relationship, there's something touching there. I know they're pure evil, but that is, you know, that's the type of love you want, in a different way, but also in the same way. Does anyone know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying here? Maybe I'm just a weirdo. But that was just so interesting, you know? And then of course it makes sense that because Darla has been with Angelus, I guess technically, for so long, she knows him, right? She can tell that even though he came back to her, he just can't help himself. And that is credit, you know? I don't think it's like, oh, now I used to think Angel was this perfect human. I mean, I kind of did, but it's not like I think Angel is a bad character, but he has a flawed past, for sure. You know, the fact that he came back and wanted to go back to his old ways of not having a conscience, not feeling bad for doing these sadistic things. And I think the primary reason for that, or at least one of the main draws, was his partner in crime, Darla. And then it was just a genius scene, the test that Darla had for him, right? Having this innocent baby. I mean, for a second, I was like, they're not good. Like, Angel didn't cross that line, did he? And of course he didn't, you know? And who would think that there could be sadness when a character chooses not to eat a baby? But from Darla's point of view, that was heartbreaking. You know what I mean? You know, because that was her making one, you know, deep in her heart, even though vampires don't have a heart, but you know what I mean? She probably already knew that it was over. You know, they were trying to force it. They had broken up, they had gotten back together, but then that was that critical moment, and Darla knew in her heart that Angel was not going to do that, but she still made the effort, because that's how strong their feelings, how passionate they were about each other, how connected in every way. And also, similar to the last episode of Buffy, the way that they edited in and out of the flashbacks was really well done, really smooth, really added a lot to it, especially the one transition where they cut away from the decision that Angel made at the end. Like a couple of the cuts right at the end, like where it cut from him deciding whether he was going to eat that baby or not, and then it cut to him saving Darla, and then when he ended up running away, and then we saw Darla also running away at the end, which let me kind of talk about that storyline in the present day, since I was really focusing on the flashbacks. But in the present day, obviously you can see Angel's obsession with Darla, and as we're seeing more and more of these flashbacks and understanding in a deeper way just how close they are, it's making more and more sense to me. Like, Angel has these feelings for Darla. I mean, I thought Buffy was Angel's #1 girl, but is that sacrilege to say in the Buffyverse? Speaking of sacrilege in the Buffyverse, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say something that I am sure is sacrilegious to many people watching this. People will probably be flooding the comments right now saying, you are a moron, you don't understand this show, and you are an evil person, but I just have to speak my mind. I think that Darla and Angel have better chemistry than Buffy and Angel. Okay, I said it. I'm not gonna dwell on that point. You can comment down below if you have thoughts. But continuing on this here, you know, Angel is genuinely trying to save Darla, and I think his intentions are good. You know, you couldn't design a better person for Angel to save than a woman who's in trouble, who has a dark past, who Angel believes there's still good in them. It's like, that is like faith times 1,000. And then you add on top of that that she's a blonde and that he had a long history with her. Like, that is, you couldn't design better bait to reel Angel in. You know what I mean? But I do think he's being sincere. Like, he 100% wants to save Darla. And by save her, you know, save her soul, you know, help her, because he knows the pain that she is in. And that's so fascinating too, like seeing Darla struggle with that self-awareness of evil. You know, it kind of reminds me of the biblical story, right, of Adam and Eve. You know, by eating from the tree of good and evil, Adam and Eve are aware of their nakedness. They're aware kind of their lower nature. I feel like there's something similar, and it feels biblical as well here with Darla, where she's given this soul and it feels like a curse. Like, now she's aware of everything, of her aging, of her mortality, of good and evil in a way that she didn't have to deal with when she was just living on that level as a demon who had no feelings and no morality in that sense. And then I really like what they did with Lindsey this episode too. I mean, I enjoy the complexity of his character, like I kind of talked about in season 1 briefly. I felt like they did it a little bit quickly, of him jumping back and forth, switching sides. I wish they had gone a little bit slower and more naturally in season 1, but I feel like what they did with him this episode felt a lot better, a lot stronger, a lot more realistic. I mean, we could see that Lindsey was kind of drawn to Darla, and apparently it was like an attraction as well, and that just makes sense. You can kind of sense that between them in the scenes that they had previously. But on top of that, I think that Lindsey does have this real empathy, you know, kind of similar to Angel, where he also was concerned and did pity Darla's, you know, extreme pain, to the point that he risked his career, which he kind of sold his soul for, which is a weird thing. Like, you would think once you made the decision to kind of sell your soul to a corporation because you have ambition and you want that career, that path in life, that you would cast someone else aside who's in pain and do anything to pursue that career. But it's much more interesting for Lindsey to do something almost spontaneously because he's being led by emotion, and he genuinely feels bad for this woman who he also has feelings for. I really like that scene where Angel showed up and grabbed Lindsey around the neck. You know, that was just old school, tough, no nonsense Angel, kind of channeling a little Angelus to get what the information he needs in a very quick, abrupt way. And I also feel like that's that same energy he has when Buffy's in danger. When his girls are in trouble, you know, all the niceties and the politeness, that fades away quickly. But that was a funny scene, you know, because Lindsey is literally calling them to try to help at the same time. But of course, it is all a setup. Evil Palpatine is proving that he really is Palpatine. I mean, all he needs is the frickin' hood and a few wrinkles, and then he really is there. But he's pulling all these mastermind moves, trying to manipulate things. I wonder if he's going to come out on top eventually, or if Darla's going to get the better of him one way or another. I don't know, but I kind of like how he's pretty formidable, it seems like, you know, just using his brains and his evil, right? And then, of course, Angel was able to rescue Darla and to take her away, get her back to their place. But then Darla asks him the one thing that he can't give her, which is to turn her into a vampire. To ask, you know, for the exact same thing that he begged from Darla. And it's so interesting, right? Like, Angel tried to return to his life as a vampire. So I don't think any part of him could judge Darla for trying to do that exact same thing. You know, he knows what that withdrawal feels like. He knows that pain, that suffering, that fear, that existential uncertainty that happens when you're used to this and then you have that. And then on top of that, I feel like Darla also has this extra identity crisis because she's not even Darla. Oh my gosh, and speaking of, there's so many good things. I almost forgot to talk about this, but we had the Master, dude. We had the Master come back, one of the great villains of Buffy. I feel like the more time that goes by after the Master's death, the more of an affection I have thinking back on him. I don't know. I feel like the actor is really good. I like the makeup design of the Master. I kind of like the simplicity, old school villain type that he fulfills. But that scene at the beginning was awesome, right? Where he shows up, he turns Darla. I feel like they did mention that the Master turned Darla before. Now that I'm thinking about it, it sounds familiar, but I didn't remember, so it was kind of a cool surprise for me watching that, even though I was like, oh, for sure it's a vampire in the huge hood, but it's the Master, bro. That was awesome. And then it was also really cool seeing the scene with Angelus and Darla, and Angelus making fun of the Master. You know, I feel like, if I remember correctly, the Master refers to Angelus, and he speaks of him very highly as like one of the most deadly, savage, cruel vampires he ever knew, you know. And I think that seeing the scene of them together, even though the Master didn't approve of Angelus and didn't believe in him, you know, So it's kind of like the one person who has the guts to speak up or speak back to like the really tough boss. As on a certain level, that boss is probably going to respect that employee more than everyone else who's just silent, right? Because Angelus is probably the one vampire who wasn't scared to be like, no, your way is stupid. You look ugly. I'm not going to hide under the sewers. I'm sure the master was raging in that moment, but hundreds of years later, thinking about it, he's like, that kid was kind of badass. You know what I mean? I know I'm not going to cover everything in this episode. I mean, this is another one I 100% have to rewatch. I mean, wow. Talk about a treat. I mean, we have this level for the last episode of Buffy. Now we have this level for this episode of I think this is my favorite episode. I mean, just off the top of my head, it is my favorite. I mean, Hero is still one of the best. That's such a good episode. And then I love when Angelus came back in, I forget the name of that episode, the one where the actress like tried to drug him and brought him back in a momentary time of happiness. But this I think was definitely better than that one. Hero is great. I think this is the best one. I think this is my favorite. You know, I'm more confident than my intuition even with the last episode of Buffy. Another part that I thought was so, I mean, the whole conversation at the end between Angel and Darla, where Darla is begging him to turn her back to how she was. That was such a powerful scene. And I will take a confrontation like that any day over like a hand-to-hand combat. I mean, I love a good action scene. I love action movies. I love fights, but that was so much more impactful. And I love that that's the way that it played out. And my favorite moment on Angel's side, dang it, I'm going to forget the word that Darla used. It was such a perfect word. What word did she use? Like a gift? Did she say like, I gave you this gift? And just his delivery when he was like, you think that's a gift? Like the way that he said that one word, you could sense like the suffering he has had as a vampire. Like he sees things clearly. You know, Angel at this point, as much as he might miss some of the connection he's had with Darla, he understands that being a vampire is a curse. You know, it's like someone who's broken free, if we want to return to the addiction metaphor. It's like someone who's been sober for 15 years and gotten free of heroin, you know, and can look back and be like, look, you're suffering now, but if you are the one who first introduced me to this drug, you think that was a gift? I was no gift. You know, I really liked that moment. What an incredible episode. I'm sure there is more to break down. You know, I feel like I didn't even dive into the psychology or the symbolism of a lot of stuff, but I have a lot to process and think about. That was just an amazing episode. I mean, even just on a simple level, entertainment, incredible. You know, just perfectly paced, great stuff going on. Obviously a cameo from Spike and Drusilla, plus 15 points. So an absolutely epic episode of Angel. Probably my favorite of the show so far. Let me know, did you love this episode of Angel? I'm sure anyone who loves Angel, I can't imagine you not loving this episode. But is this your favorite of the show so far? Please don't mention if there's future episodes that are 10 times better. I can't imagine they would be. But obviously just from the episodes that I'm up to at this point, is this your favorite one? I'd be curious to hear in the comments down below. As always, the full unedited reaction is on Patreon if you want to support the channel. Also future episodes of Buffy and Angel. Thank you for watching, and as always, remember, be active, be mindful, and be a hero.